Hello, Mama. This is Edwin, and I got your message about learning to make a paper airplane. So look, I haven't tried to make a paper airplane in many years, but here I'm gonna give it a try. Let's see if I can position this where be seen. Let's try it this way. Okay, let's see. Might need a little more height. Okay, I'm gonna try this. We'll see if it works. Okay, looks like maybe we can see the paper there. All right. So let's. All right. So the first move is to fold the paper in half. All right. So we folded it in half. All right. See that? All right. And then after folding it in half, we take the left side, or just one of the sides, and fold the flap down to where it lines up with the half that you just made. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll fold it down to where it lines up with the half that we folded the first time. Okay, so now we kind of have a triangular, see that? Yeah, we go, kind of a triangular situation there. All right, and then next we make another fold, similar fold, also to line up with the half. So basically we just do it again. And try to hold it in alignment there. There we go. All right, so that's one side, left side. Let's do the right side so we can have symmetry. Exact same thing, just fold it to where it lines up with the half that we did in the first step. All right, so now we have something like that. And as you can see, it may be starting to look a little bit like a plane. All right, and then next, we fold this along the half. So we fold basically the paper in half, along the same line of the half that we made first. So let's go from here to here. I'll just fold it over. Maybe we can see it a little bit better. Let's just fold it over like that. Okay. So that's the third step. Hope you can see that. All right, and then the next step is to take one of the sides. I think this is the left side or right side, whatever. But to take one of the sides and to fold this side down to where it is again lined up with that half. All right. So we're basically we're folding down a wing. Good, and then we just want to do the same thing on the other side so we can be symmetrical. So we'll take that flap on the right side this time, or the left side, whatever it is, just the other side, and fold it down again to where it lines up with the bottom, or the half line, which is the bottom there. Just smooth it out. All right, so now at this point, with our folding, we have our plane. And I hope you can see the whole plane there. So that's the top of it. And then I'm holding it by the bottom of it. You see how we folded it. Now this is the, kind of creates a little handle. So that's how you throw it. Oh, that way. So we'll throw the plane. Okay. You know, and then I remember when Jason, my friend, and I used to do these. If you wanted distance, of course, you know, the physics of that is you could put a little penny or something close to the front and then tape it. And then when you throw it, you know, it'll go a long way. You could put 2 pennies in there if you want more weight. So that's how that's done. And then in order to get it to fly, or to get it to kind of float, that it's the same concept of making it, but I think the idea there is you might want to use a piece of paper that instead of being a normal size, you might want to here, let me just grab another piece of paper here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, oh, that looks like, I don't know whose artwork that is. That might be, it looks like an unfinished Kazi creation, maybe. All right, but anyway, yes, so look, if you, all right, well, first of all, wait, before we make another plane, let's see if this one will fly. Yeah, because for not, if it doesn't fly, right? I think we've made a pretty good plane here, so that's what we've made. All right, so let me point the phone that way, and let's just see if we can fly it over to the window. All right, ready? 1, 2, here we go. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I could had a little. Oh, sorry. Oh, there's Huey. I mean, not Huey. There's a Free. Sorry, Free. Called you your Uncle Huey's name. Let's see if we can catch Free. Hey, say hi to Mama. Say hi to Mama. Okay, so that's Free saying hello. All right. Okay, let's try this again. All right, let's turn this thing around. Can I turn it around? Okay, maybe I can. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. Let's just face it that way toward the door. Okay, so I'm going to try to fly it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now it didn't go straight out the door like I wanted it to, but it did have a little height. Kind of took a little upturn. So, you know, you can probably, you're a science person, you can explain the physics of that better than I can. But anyway, that's our airplane. That's the bottom, and then the top of it. And then you know, if I kind of want to make sure if I'm proud of it and want to make sure that it stays together, I'll grab a piece of tape. Just take a little piece off. And then we can put the tape. Let's see, is that visible? Okay, so I'm going to put the tape along the top. Not sure if you can see that, but we'll see it after it's done. Okay, so I just put the tape kind of right on the top of the plane right there, just to hold it together. That way I don't have to really squeeze it to keep it together. It's already together there. All right, we're at 10 minutes here, so I guess that's good. Now I really want to turn this thing around where it's pointing that way instead of pointing at me now. I thought you could do that mid-recording, but maybe you have to end the recording and do that. But here we go. We'll just try to. All right, I'm going to point it toward that corner over there. And let's see if we can. See. There we go. All right, let's see if we can make it fly over there. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now that wasn't too bad. I don't know if you could see that. It is not quite as smooth as I like it, but the key to the smoothness of the flight is really the symmetry. If everything is symmetrical, then when you let it go, it won't go to the right or to the left. It should just go nice and straight. And then I think if you lift, maybe lift the wings up a little bit so that they're not drooping down, but are kind of more, more like at a 90-degree angle, a nice flat plane there. That should make a difference in how it flies. Hopefully it should fly more smoothly. I'm going to try one more time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, see how it kind of hung up in the air a little bit more. So anyway, have fun. That's the basics, or at least that's the basics for how I know how to make a plane. I do remember Jason having a slightly different technique. I mean, we both had the same basic technique, but I remember him being very good at, like this is just a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and I folded it the long way. Well, let's say instead of using 8.5 by 11, we used an 8.5 by 14 piece of paper so that the wing ends up being wider. The wider wing, I think, tends to make it float a little bit more. And then, of course, you can do little things just like a regular airplane has you can put the little flap, you can create a little flap on it and experiment. I was always good at throwing the ones for distance and just for floating straight. But those wider planes, if you, kind of play around with, putting your own flaps on there, you can get it to twirl and stay in the air and twirl and, do all kind of things. And then if you get up nice and high somewhere, like, on a little cliff, or just where you have, 10 to 20 feet of height, then you can really kind of see what you've done. Anyway, okay, so I know I need some help in video making. So I think one of my next purchases is going to be similar to the gift that you gave me. You gave me one of those things to hold the phone so that I could do selfies. I'm not a big selfie person, but I've seen the things that will hold the phone at an angle so I don't have to hold it with my hand. And I'd like to, to set that up. And then I really want to, however those guys do the YouTube recordings where not only can you see their fingers on the piano, but I guess there's a piece of software that you can get where not only can people see your hands, they can actually see the notes lit up right above where your hands are, so that they can see precisely which notes you're playing. So you can teach songs over the internet like that effectively. And of course, I've been a beneficiary of so many people doing that, particularly a guy named Noah Kelman, who's just a brilliant musician, but also a very good teacher, and kind of teaches by example, more so than trying to explain too much. All right, so look, let's see, where are we? Okay, we're at about 15 minutes. All right, so look, I'm gonna put so this is Resurrection Week, Holy Week, Passion Week. So look, I've got music coming out of my ears. So I thank you for, mentioning paper airplanes, because actually just that little activity that took 5 or 10 minutes is kind of nice. It kind of relieved a little stress. So I guess that's what you're supposed to do when you're kind of working hard and you've kind of had your head down or head in the computer for hours, just to take time, get away. I should probably take a walk. But to do, little arts and crafts was a nice diversion. So thank you. I don't think I would have been wise enough to do that for myself. I think I better maybe incorporate paper airplanes just back into my mental health routine. That was fun. And it's nighttime, so I can't go out and play tennis right now or do some of my other recreational diversions. So that's a good one. But yeah, let me play some music. So we're doing probably a couple of songs you've heard before. We're doing a worship chant using apart from No Greater Love, that little piece that says Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. That's love. And I'm planning to medley that with a loving response from me, and it'll be from all of us who are worshiping. After we say, Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me, that's love. And after we say, they hung him high, the little kids will go like that. They stretched him wide. He hung his head. For me, he died. That's love. And then the last verse, of course, that's not where the story ends. 3 days later, he rose again. That's love. And then once we sing that, which is the Easter or the resurrection story in a nutshell, then our response will be, I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you that I love you more than anything. So we'll do it like this. Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. That's love. That's love. Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. That's love. That's love. Let's take it up. Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. That's love. That's love. Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. That's love. That's love. They hung him high, they stretched him wide. He hung his head, for me he died. That's love. That's love. That's the real thing. They hung him high, they stretched him wide. He hung his head, for me he died. That's love. That's love. They hung him high, they stretched him wide. He hung his head, for me he died. That's love. That's love. I want to get to that last verse. But that's not how the story ends. 3 days later, he rose again. That's love. That's love. But that's not how the story ends. 3 days later, he rose again. That's love, yeah. That's love, oh yes it is. But that's not how the story ends. 3 days later, he rose again. That's love. That's love, yes. That's love. That's love. Just want to say thank you, Jesus, for making the sacrifice. We love you, Lord. We just want to say so for a minute, yeah. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you just want to say that I love you more than anything. And I just want to say that I love you more than anything. Hallelujah. Oh, I can't wait. I know my voice is cracking a little bit, but it won't be cracking on Sunday, baby. We're going to drink all the tea, gargle all that olive oil, and what's that concoction? Olive oil, apple cider vinegar, salt, and water. Just gargle that thing. And then you have to be quiet for an hour, at least an hour. Longer the better. And then, by the grace of God and the miracle of God's wonderful science, your voice is recovered and ready to go. And more than likely after resurrection service, the concoction won't work because I will have, well, I won't even speak that because actually that vocal strain, the serious vocal strain, has not been happening lately. I feel the fatigue, a little pain, so I shut up. But the hoarseness seems to have diminished a lot. So I'm just praising God for that. A couple times it's been His miracle hand, but then the rest of the times I think He's just given me the wisdom to cooperate with the nature of my vocal cords, which is just to put the right chemicals, the chemicals that I mentioned, in the right amount, and then just staying quiet long enough for the healing to take effect, full healing to take effect. But after I really throw it out, I really need, if I had to sing a concert on Sunday afternoon, I could use the concoction and do it. But the rule, I think, is that if you fatigue the voice on top of, it already being fatigued, then yes, it'll allow you to perform again, but you need to take longer for the next healing. So maybe instead of a quiet day, I might have to do 2 quiet days. And since I normally can't afford to do 2 quiet days, I'm just trying to get wiser about just, shutting up when it's time to shut up. And actually, I think I mentioned this to you, and you're a doctor, you probably know these things. It's not the singing, at least according to my doctor here, it's not the singing that necessarily does the most damage. It's actually, I have another habit of whispering, and she mentioned that it is the whispering that maybe after the singing does even more to fatigue the vocal cords than singing does. And so, of course, I've been messing up for years before I met her, because I thought that, whispering was a way to, preserve, kind of preserve the voice, like it was just, just a little bit, maybe a little bit below staying silent. But what she said is, no, actually, if you just talk softly, that's the next level below silence. Silence is the best for healing. But if you have to talk, just to talk quietly, kind of like what I'm doing now. And then below that is singing some more. And then below that is whispering, as basically it's the, one of the worst things you can do. I don't understand that. I haven't really looked it up, but maybe you could send me a message next time we talk. You could explain that to me, why that might be the case. Okay, so let's see, where are we now, time-wise? Okay, I see 30 minutes. Great. Oh, so look, you expressed a little bit of enjoyment, and I think you tape recorded me practicing Giant Steps by John Coltrane when I was with you last month or month and a half ago. So look, other than going to play tennis or maybe doing some push-ups or going to swim, taking a walk, look, another one of my diversions, I usually, after working on a whole lot of music, I just can't stand to hear or even be around music. So silence is better. But since Giant Steps is kind of my pet project for the last 20 years, I do find some relaxation and enjoyment in just working on Giant Steps and maybe strengthening a part that was kind of weak before, or trying to add a new improvisation to what I've done. So I know I've come a little ways in my evolution since I saw you 6 or 7 weeks ago. So here we go. Giant Steps, John Coltrane. I'm going to take it nice and slow first, and then I'm going to try to play it, at a little faster speed. I'm going to do about 6 turns. So let's see. Let's take it at about 80. Come on. Try that again. Somebody else can take a solo. I'm a saxophone player. I'll just be my accompaniment behind him.
there were a whole lot of mistakes in that little recording that I normally don't make. So I'm mindful. Of course, it's common knowledge that, if you're playing in front of someone or, trying to play for a camera, there's that little extra pressure. So look, I've been reading a book, just, slowly, listening to it, not really reading it, but, listening to the audio. It's called Effortless Mastery by Kenny Werner. Werner, Werner. And he talks about the art or the practice of learning to play without thinking. In other words, you think to practice, but when it's time to play, you just kind of put your conscious mind on a single object, for example, your breath, and then just allow your fingers to play the right side of your brain, or the doer, the one that isn't responsible for conscious thinking, but rather is responsible for, performance. You just let that side of your brain go crazy. And he's making the point that, developing the practice of putting your conscious mind on another focus, while your hands go, is how jazz musicians are able to improvise at such incredible speeds. Because it's one thing to be able to play at an incredible speed, like a classical pianist, plays Flight of the Bumblebee, and that thing, it's amazing, but that's scored. So you're not really improvising on it. You're just playing a score. And so that can be muscle memory. In other words, you just practice enough and it's just muscle memory. So, but anyway, for the improvisers, so these are guys, no two performances are the same. They're improvising, they're doing different stuff. How do you do that, at 200 miles an hour? You got 30-second notes, 64th notes, or, they're taking it at 240 because, John Stepp is supposed to go this fast. I almost did it. Because one of the things he talks about is, don't worry. First of all, you have to practice sufficiently. So it's not like this is magic. No, I mean, you still have to practice 100 times or whatever, just to make sure that you have it. But still, in performance, even if you practice it 100 times, you're still likely to mess up at real speed unless you do something with your conscious mind. Because at that speed, the only thing my conscious mind can do is mess me up, get me in the way. You can't be thinking about what notes to hit. The notes have to already be in you, and you need to be relaxed, which means conscious mind needs to be focused on something else. So anyway, right then, so one of the tidbits or the nuggets that he gives his students is, look, you practice hard. You know what your number is for certain songs. You might need to practice it, 50 times before a performance. You might need to practice it 1,500 times, But whatever that number is, once you've done it and it's time for performance, he'll tell them, just play it badly. Now, that's a weird thing to say to your students, but you probably see it already. He's just helping them to release the pressure or relieve the pressure of trying to play the right notes in performance. That pressure will diminish your speed and your accuracy and musicianship and everything, because you're trying to play it well. And well meaning you want it to sound good to your ears. And his point is no, once you've practiced sufficiently, then the main thing is just to get it out. And trying to play it well just adds extra pressure that will stimulate the conscious mind. So just play it badly. So just let your hands just do foolish things. Well, if you've practiced sufficiently, when you I think there at the end, because you see what I'm not accustomed to. What I was talking to you about is my weakness in playing has always been my dexterity. I didn't practice my scales like you did growing up. I kind of took shortcuts. I practiced arpeggios a little bit, but I really didn't put the time in to the Czerny. And just scales, just making sure that I had fluid motion. And I could get away with it being a minister of music, because very seldom am I called upon to play a piano solo. Usually it's my job to help the voices sound beautiful. And I can just chop chords under them. So I don't need a lot of dexterity. I can kind of be a chopper and still direct the choir, because I'm doing three things at once. I'm not just playing, I'm directing and, and making decisions. But now, as you know, I'm trying to improve my musicianship. I do want to be able to solo in worship and to show some beauty. So we're working on that. But yes, so I guess I should probably get to bed. But I hope that this recording finds you well, and you enjoy making paper airplanes. If you could see it, and if you can't see it, let me know, and we'll just try again. Maybe I can get a little apparatus or I think I was a little too low in there. I need to get a little higher up and put the phone so that, you can see more of it. But let me know. And I love you. Thank you so much for the beautiful picture of Princess Beautiful and Brilliant is visible behind the skin, behind the clothes there. So I know she's on her way soon, breaking forth into the earth. But thank you for that wonderful picture, photo that you sent of the two of them, or the three of them, or the 2.5 of them, and yeah, beautiful. I hope had an enjoyable 16th birthday. I didn't hear back from her, but I reached out, and yeah, so just praying that they are well. So I love you, Mama. Hopefully get to talk with you very soon. Shalom.